Hey everybody, I'm Jordan with Warpfire Minis. We've got another battle report for you. It's going to be Skaven versus Slaves of Darkness. So I made it out to an RTT this weekend over in Orlando, and got 3 games in, so just going to do some battle reports to cover those for you guys. Round 1, I'm not going to do. It was against Stormcast. They had 9 long strikes and a Star Drake, and just not a super fun match. I got a double 2 into 3, and pretty much tabled everything other than the Star Drake, so not a whole lot you're going to learn there. Double turns are good, who knew? So first up, I'm going to run you through his list, and it's just the classic Slaves of Darkness kind of bad guy list right now. We got Be'lakor, 6 Varanguard, there's 10 Chosen in Deep Strike from the Gaunt Summoner. That's going to be this little guy back there. And then he's got 2 Chaos Chariots. Those you don't see all the time, but they're just fast-moving things, go outscore battle tactics. Then we have the Nexus Chaotica back there. It's a moped, I just don't have one. But the general vibe of Slaves of Darkness right now is that they're going to be 3d6 charging everything down your throat, jumping on you turn 1 if they can, and just fight twice with the Varanguard, fight twice with the Chosen, destroy you turn 1, and then Be'lakor is going to try and shut off your main threat if it's still alive so that you can't hit him back really hard. So then jumping over to the Skaven side of things, this is the list that I've been running for a while now. It's been doing pretty good and I like playing it. But we've got 2 squads of 20 Clanrats, using those as big screens. Squad of 10 Night Runners. They get that pregame move, so we're going to try and push out a little bit to slow them down from getting on top of me. Deceiver, he's my favorite. MVP, teleporting around doing cool stuff. 6 Ratling Guns for the firepower. Squad of 4 Doom-Flayers for some melee counterpunch. Then a Grey Seer. Then we have 6 Jezzails in Deep Strike as well. Those guys, I like pop them out of a knothole. That extra little bit of range they have is helpful where they can't just redeploy out. They don't do as much damage as the Ratling Guns, but I don't have points for Ratling Guns. They can't fit in my regiment due to only being able to bring 1 weapons team with the Grey Seer. So the 6 Jezzails, they usually do what I need them to do. You just can't expect Ratling level output. And then we also have a Deathmaster over here. He lets the Deceiver and the Night Runners be able to run and charge, and he can go around and do some little chip damage himself. He can run and charge as well with his own ability. But from there, let's just jump into it. We got round 1. We were both 2 drops. I won the roll-off. I decided to make him go first. That way I can control the double. Against these aggressive armies that can run and charge or 3d6 charge like Slaves of Darkness or Stormcast, if they double you early, you just lose the game flat out. So big deal winning that roll, and we'll jump over to Slaves of Darkness, top of 1. All right, first up in deployment, I get my pregame move with the Night Runners. So we're just going to shoot them up 7 inches. And this doesn't seem like a lot, but it's why I love these guys so much. You can just put it in the way. I've got my 3 claw steps move where I could try and shove these guys up again. And that's just going to mess with his turn 1 movement, gives me some options to keep him back. So first up, Slave Darkness battle tactic. He went for take the flanks. He was going to just run a Chariot down this way, run that Chariot over to the corner, score his tactic, and then we'll go over his spells. First up, he went for the 3d6 charge spell, and he failed it onto the Varanguard. Immediately after failing the spell, he then marks them Slanesh, so they get 3d6 charge anyways. And there's nothing you can do about it. They just get to pick a unit. Boom, they've got it. Next up, Be'lakor casts the bridge. I try to unbind, but he gets it off. And so boom, he sets the bridge down there, which reveals to me he's going to send these Varanguard through the bridge and try and pop this side of the board. Then he's got his Gaunt Summoners, the last one. He deployed him outside of 30, so I can't unbind it. And his spell is to give him that 7-inch Deep Strike for the Chosen. Boom, he gets it off. That's the end of his hero phase. Flips over to me. I have my Grey Seer out of range of him, and so I cast a Skitter Leap, and boom, we do it on the Deceiver. I teleport the Deceiver over there, and this is one where we actually got the mission wrong. It's called Focal Points, but we both thought that if he just moved in a straight line over there, he would score his tactic, and so I put the Deceiver there to block that. Later on, we found out that it's not actually in the zone, but his Chariot wasn't able to reach this way either. So either way, I was trying to deny his battle tactic there. In his mind, I also denied his battle tactic there. So he's going to have to regroup. And then we're going to do our 3 claw steps move. And what I do is I shift these Night Runners over 7 inches. And what that's going to do is shut off his bridge. He has to be wholly within 6 of it, outside of 9 of me. So boom, we're just going to get right on top of it. All right, and then that'll jump us over to movement. So now with his battle tactic pretty much gone, he's going to take this Chariot over here. Instead of shimmying it down this way, he's just going to put it right onto this objective. Be'lakor flies up over here, going to try and hit the Night Runners. This Chariot over here, he does an auto run and gets on the objective. Then the Varanguard, they shipped over this way. moving towards the Deceiver. He's going to try and get him. Then we have the Gaunt Summoner back there. He does a run and gets a 6, so he's moving. And then since he's pledged to Tzeentch just automatically on his War Scroll, he also gets to use that ability. So even after running, he can do a teleport. So he rolls a 7, which lets him pick a spot within 7 inches. Then he has to finish within 6 inches of that spot and then outside a 9 of me. And what that does is it just lets him teleport this guy all the way up over this way to be able to get those Chosen in position. Then now that the Gaunt Summoner is here come the Chosen. So boom, there they are. They're 7 inches away because the Gaunt Summoner got his spell off. Then I know they're about to 3d6 charge, boom, right into my face. And I meant to put these guys outside of 6 inches of this Doom-Flayer, so you can't fight here, pile in, and then fight again into these guys. I need to keep them out of combat for the counterpunch. And so I end up redeploying these guys just to fix that, and I get a 3-inch redeploy. And so I shift these guys up this way, and I left a gap here. He would need such a big charge in order to get over here and then pile in into me. So just pushed him up a little bit forward. He's going to make the charge. So I'm just trying to give myself some space. Shooting phase, don't have anything arranged for covering fire. He doesn't have any shooting other than the Gaunt who ran. So boom, we just flip over to the charge phase and here it comes. First up he goes with the Varanguard. Boom, they roll like an 11 or 12 and they make it into the Deceiver. Then it comes time for the Chosen. He rolls the 3d6 charge because they have the Banner of Slaanesh, which is also going to give them that extra attack when they charge in. It's a real bad time. But rolls the charge and he gets an 11, which would make it in. But then he gets greedy. He wants to try and fish for this big jumbo charge to get my guys. So he re-rolls it, and he ends up rolling a 15-inch charge instead. So let's see what that looks like. And so boom, that's what it looked like there with the Chosen making the big charge anyways. We'll flip over to combat. First things first, we got combat abilities. He chooses to fight twice on the Chosen. Chooses not to on the Varanguard, just if they hit the Deceiver, he's going to die. So it flips over to me. I've got the Deceiver teleport. We really want this one. The 4-up's going to let me jump over here to this Chariot, deny him a bunch of points. Going to be awesome. Roll the dice, get a 2. So boom, we don't make it there. Next up, though, we have Scurry Away. Roll it, get the 3-up. So the Deceiver just retreats out of combat. And that right there is why I love the Deceiver. People ask me about him all the time. He doesn't do a ton of damage for the points. But he's the only thing in our book that can get charged by 6 Varanguard and live to tell the tale. Like, that right there, worth it alone. You get the 2 chances to get out. If I had rolled better, boom, I'm on this objective. Killing this guy too would have been awesome. But that's a huge chunk of his army that's now in the corner of the board. The Deceiver also denied the battle tactic. If I had teleported Thankwall over there, for example, sure, I can deny the tactic, but then he's dead. So, Deceiver, I love you. Keep it up. And Be'lakor, he had charged into the Night Runners here as well. Flipping to the actual fighting, he fights with the Chosen. Then the Chosen fight, and he decides to split his attacks, and he sends 3 of them over here into this Gnawhole. The rest of them all go into the Clanrats, which ends up killing the Gnawhole. And then into the Clanrats, he kills all but 4 of them. On that one, I had all-out defense, just praying that I can try and keep these guys locked up here and outside of the Doom-Flayers. And so with the 4 of them living, that's great for me. Flips over to me. Deathmaster piles in, does like 1 damage. Then these guys have fight last for that second fight. The Clanrats fight in and do 1 damage. So we didn't even kill one. Then the Varanguard over there, they piled in. And I'd also fought with the Night Runners into Be'lakor first, because that was the only thing that was actually being threatened. And I did 2 damage to Be'lakor, and then Be'lakor full wiped these guys. Then it comes time for the Chosen second fight. They can't go this way, so they just pile into the Clanrats and the Deathmaster here, and they kill him. Some people are going to ask, why did I have the Deathmaster up front? It's because I knew he was going to send those Chosen in, and it was going to make him split attacks one way or the other between the Deathmaster and the Clanrats. And the Deathmaster can only be hit on unmodified 5s and 6s, so to realistically kill him, he's going to have to dedicate 2 or 3 of the Chosen, which again might let the Clanrats live, which might make them stay there. We want them to stay there and not get here, and it happened. But that takes us to the end of the turn. He's got both flanks and both homes, but no battle tactics, so 6 points for Slaves of Darkness. And then we'll jump over to Skaven, bottom of 1. So now it flips over to my turn, and I have to be super careful because he's got Be'lakor. He's going to Darkmaster something. So I have to choose a battle tactic that I can safely do. And so what I do is choose Ordained Charge on this objective, which in his mind, he's going to think, oh, the Deceiver's going to come down. But really, I have the Deceiver and the Clanrats both. I can move these guys up 6. Then I can charge the Chariot. If he redeploys it out, I can also charge his bridge here. So no matter what, I've got a really good chance at scoring this battle tactic. And I really want him to Deathmaster the Deceiver, because I need these guys to kill these guys to be ahead of the game. So first up, we're going to go over spells. With the Seer, I go for a Fight Last spell onto the Chosen. When he had fought with Be'lakor, he had piled in and got within 3 of these. Be'lakor lets these guys fight first on a 4-up, and so I can't afford that if I go in and they fight first, I die. So I go for the Fight Last to offset it, get my 3d6 spell out, boom, get it off on the Chosen. That's really big. Over here, there wasn't a really good manifestation to play this turn, so I just went for Wither, do D3 Mortal Wounds, try and put it on the Chariot just to help the Clanrats maybe kill him off. But fail to get that one off. Go over to Slaves of Darkness. He goes for an Enfeeble Foe, doesn't get it off on the Doom-Flayers. Now we're going to just jump straight into movement, and here we go. Doom-Flayers, we shoot these guys up here outside of 3. The Seer, he runs this way up towards the objective. Then the Clanrats, we push them over here for our battle tactic. And then the Ratling Guns shift up 2. Then I go to move the Deceiver, but Be'lakor did Dark Master him, so he rolls the dice, boom, Deceiver is stuck in place, can't get out. And then the very last thing is I drop the Jezzails in over here from this knothole. That takes us over to the shooting phase. Rolls the dice for the Deceiver, I get to shoot into the Varanguard, do 0 damage. Ratling Guns, we roll for the Warpcog bonus, and we kill one of our own models by rolling a 1. That's always fun. The rest of them shoot in and kill the Chariot, though. I have the same charge distance to this spell as the Chariot, so killing the Chariot, just good for me. Then we have the Jezzails. They got the Warpcog buff. I all-out attack them, shoot into the Chosen, and we do 10 damage, which is excellent. So all in all, pretty good shooting phase. We go over to the charge phase, and we start out over here with our battle tactic. Roll for the Clanrats, boom, we make it into the bridge. And we don't send everybody into the bridge. I don't care if it lives or dies. It's probably good for me if it's there for tactics like Do Not Waver. Then I also want to use that movement to position these guys, where next turn I can 3 claw steps, boom, make another screen for these guys if I need to. Next charge is the Doom-Flayers. They make it in. And again, I don't put them on this objective like way up here. I don't want Be'lakor to countercharge me, make it as long as possible. On the Impact Mortals, when they charge in, we do 2 Mortal Wounds. And then that's the end of my charges. He goes for a countercharge on the Varanguard, which, very good play. Part of Dark Mastering the Deceiver is every time I go to use an ability, which is going to be that Teleport and that Scurry Away, he gets to roll a dice, and on a 3-up, he can deny that ability. So not very likely that I get out, but he rolls the countercharge and rolls a 5, doesn't make it in. Sweet action. Go to the actual combats. Doom-Flayer time. We all-out attack him. We pile in, we swing, we do 20 damage. The Doom-Flayers, they get that anti-infantry, so it's Ren 2. He had used up his CP with that countercharge, so boom, we blow him up. We're living the dream. Then Clanrats, I don't even pile in. We do like 1 damage to the bridge. And that takes me to the end of my turn. For scoring, we don't do so hot. I just get 1, 2, and then my tactic. And so I just scored 6 points. We're tied up. Go into that priority roll for turn 2. We roll the dice, and I win the priority roll. And I got a decision to make. I could take the turn, probably kill Be'lakor, which would be awesome. But the Deceiver is going to still have the effect of Dark Master. He's still going to be able to try and countercharge him. He should make it in this turn. But in the grand scheme against Slaves of Darkness, they have so few units. If you can try and kill their units, it's the best move. So I'm going to take the double here, see if we can kill this stuff, and then 1 unit of Varanguard isn't going to beat me. It's going to hurt, but I'll be able to outscore him for the rest of the game. So we take the double, no tactic, we'll jump straight into spells. So first up with the Deceiver, we try and cast the Shards. In a dream world, I place it right here in front of me to block out this countercharge. Don't get it off. Next up, Seer, we go for a bridge. Before we do the bridge, actually, I put a knothole down over on this side. Gonna give the Ratling Guns a chance to jump if we don't get the bridge off. But we cast the bridge, we do get it off. I'm just gonna use the Shard models because I don't have 2. And so, boom, my bridge is down. And that's gonna let me get these Ratling Guns right over here, get into them. I spend a CP rally, and we get our Ratling Gun back. That's the end of my hero phase. He goes for an Enfeeble Foe again. Gets it off this time, so these guys are going to be -1 to hit. And then their 6s don't do anything anyways. And we'll jump over Movement. Darkmaster can't do anything. Locks him down again. Doom-Flayers, we move them up towards Be'lakor. Jezzails, we shift over this way. I'm going to be in range of getting hit by that Chariot later on, but I want to put pressure on that objective, potentially take it away from him in his own turn. Seer runs back this direction, just to get back on this objective. Clanrats shift over this way, heading towards his home. And then the Ratlings jump using the bridge. So that's the end of my movement. Be'lakor goes for a redeploy, trying to get out of range of these Ratling Guns. If he got like a 6 or something, he could be safe, but he rolled the 1. We go into shooting. We roll our Warpcog buff again. We get a 1, and we kill one of our own Ratling Guns. That's always fun. And that super sucks, because into Be'lakor, the answer is volume of shots. And so not getting the +1 to wound buff on him, kind of a bummer. We got the Jezzails to back him up, so we start blasting. So we shoot with our 5 Ratling Guns that we have left anyways. All out attack, send them into Be'lakor, and we only do 8 damage, which means Be'lakor has 4 wounds remaining. So we shoot with the Jezzails. Their Ren 2 is really, really good, but does nothing into Be'lakor because it's ethereal. We end up, I only get 4 damage through, which is exactly what we need. But he's got a ward save, rolls the wards, alive on 1 wound. And then the Deceiver over there, Darkmaster, can't shoot again, he's stuck. That takes us over to the charge phase, and the first thing we're going to do is go with these Doom-Flayers. And we end up rolling a 5-inch charge, which gets us in, that's what we need. And so we shift them over this way. And what we're hoping for here is they do their impact mortals. We only need to do 1 damage. So let's kill Be'lakor. Then I'll get to pile in, kill the Gaunt Summoner. Bam, bam, it's going to be awesome. Roll the impact wounds. We get 2 mortal wounds off. He rolls the wards, and he dies. Thank you. Which then just means the order of operations I did it was wrong. The bridge goes away at the same time. I should have charged the Clanrats first to get on his home objective, but that's okay. That takes us to the end of the charge phase. He goes for the counter charge on the Varanguard again. Even with Be'lakor dead, his ability still abides, so he wants to kill that Deceiver. Rolls the counter charge, he needs a 6 or 7, rolls a 5 again, he's out. Unfortunate for him. But then we go to the actual combats. I pile in with the Doom-Flayers, and we kill this Gaunt Summoner. When we pile in, I can't get enough bodies on to take the objective away from this Chariot, so I make sure I just string these guys out, have one of them just barely touching this one. Gaunt Summoner dies, and then that's the end of my turn. No tactic because I took the double. I'm only going to score 1, 2, 3 points. There wasn't an underdog, so this just stayed neutral. And I don't hold both flanks or both homes because I forgot to charge Clanrats first. All right, so we'll hop over to Slaves of Darkness, bottom of 2. I don't remember what tactic he chose, but he was in a pickle here where he didn't have a real good one. No hero phase to speak about other than I Skitterleap the Deceiver. Put the Deceiver over here, and I didn't put him on the objective. Since I'm next to that Chaotica, if I need to, I can just pile on and take it. And so sometimes players, they'll have that in their equation, oh, that's going to be mine. So I don't want to obviously take it in front of him. I'll wait till a later part of the turn, and then in combat pile on, and just hope that he didn't have that in mind. Then we go to the 3 claw steps. I take these Jezzails, and I scoot them back this way. And we're just trying to spread out, keep a little bit of distance from those, put pressure on this guy. If he stays around this zone, the Deceiver is going to teleport to him. The Jezzails are going to unleash hell on him. It's going to be a bad time. Then to his movement phase, he knows that ends up running the Chariot down this way onto the Obscuring. Good move. And then the Varanguard come down. I then redeploy the Doom-Flayers to take this objective. And then the Varanguard, they charge in. He decides not to fight twice, blows them all up anyways with the 1. All right, then with the Deceiver, I end up fighting that terrain piece, and I decide not to pile onto the objective. I was leaving that one open if I needed to do take 2 objectives later on, just leaving that one available. It's going to give him 1 extra point, but I'm not that worried about it with the board state. And that'll be the end of the turn. Go into the priority roll. Slaves of Darkness wins the roll, and he ends up taking the double here. He's going to try and kill more of my stuff. We'll see how it goes. Hero phase, he doesn't have anything to do. I end up casting the shards over here. So pop the shards down here, just trying to see if I can screen him out of these Ratling Guns. Goes over to movement. He ends up shooting the Chariot down this way, and the Varanguard down this way. For my 3 claw steps move, I had moved these guys way over this way. I go for a covering fire, deal like 3 damage to the Varanguard, not too much. And then we just go to the charges. Varanguard charge first, just 3d6 charge, 10-inch move, like, you can try and do cool stuff, but they're going to make it in. Like, it just is what it is. So zoom, they make it in. He manages to pile in, gets most of them in range of the Ratling Guns, splits his attacks, kills the Ratling Guns and the Grey Seer, which also kills all of the manifestations. For me, I got combat. I do pile on and take this objective now. Just I don't want him to control more. And we fight and we kill the terrain piece. Then for my start of battle round, I put it over here. That takes us to the end of turn. Scoring, he's just going to get 1, 2. No tactic this time, so that's it. And it'll flip over to me. All right, so for my tactic, I do take their land. I'm going to control that castle back there with something. For spells, I go and cast a Skiver Leap on the Deceiver. Just shoot him way over here. Take that objective, make sure we hold both flanks. The Doom-Flayers, we roll their movement and get like a 10 or 11. Shoot them down this way. And then the Jezzails, move them up next to this Gnawhole. Teleport them over to this Gnawhole back here. Then use this Gnawhole's teleport ability to teleport them back to this one. Which, being wholly within 6 of the Gnawhole, gets us within 3 inches of that castle for the tactics, so that's locked in and done. Shooting phase, I'm too far away. Then we go to charge phase, I charge the Doom-Flayers in. I set them just outside of 3 of these Varanguard, which then into charge phase, he charges in with a counter charge, the Vanguard into the Doom-Flayers. Go to combat. I take all the Doom-Flayers attacks, stick them into the Chariot. Again, if he only has 1 unit on the board, I'm going to be in pretty good shape. So boom, the Chariot dies. And then the Varanguard fight into the Doom-Flayers, and boom, they all die. Then end of turn, we bring back 5 ninjas over here. And we're going to score 10 points. We got both flanks, got our thing, got more, so easy 10. So we roll for priority, and the Slaves of Darkness gets it. But looking at the board state, and just seeing how I'm going to be able to keep controlling more objectives than him, and only having 1 unit, the only real tactic he can score is take their land at this point. And me already having a little bit of a points lead, he's not going to be able to keep up with it. So he ends up conceding the game there. Rats, we take it down. So a win's a win, but I'll have to say that that game and that matchup is just everything I hate about the game right now. I'm normally very, very positive about everything, and I'm still having fun in games. I still like the game, but the idea of like the Chosen and Varanguard being able to just jump on top of you turn 1, it's just not super fun. It's not super engaging. It's not super clever. It's just raw horsepower in your face right away. And the game's going to be decided turn 1 and turn 2, just like we saw. It's something we see in a lot of games right now, and that's kind of why the battle reports have been coming out a little bit slower. I'm playing a lot of games still, but most of them just aren't worth covering. When you get that big double turn early, it just ends things. Even with an army like Rats, we're not the top of the meta, but we still have enough firepower to just almost table somebody turn 2. There's just so much damage and so much speed in the game right now, with all the 3d6 charges and run and charge and deep striking 3d6 charge and the extra attacks and just everything else. You really have to start building your lists to win the game or lose the game turn 1 or turn 2. And so this Skaven list, it can do that. Like the Doom-Flayers can do the damage, the Jezzails, the Ratlings. The Deceiver can help jump on the back lines and try to score points if the game does happen to go late. So if we're playing Skaven right now, like all the lists I'm playing are going to be 2 drops. I don't want to do a 1-drop list with a bunch of Storm Fiends. I just don't like that playstyle. But staying 2 drops is really, really important. For this RTT, if I wasn't 2 drops, I probably lose. Having control of that double for us is just so powerful. And not only for taking the double turn to do a bunch of damage, but more importantly, it's just protecting us from getting doubled. We can afford to have a couple screens in our lists, which some armies can't even do. But if you have those screens out, they jump on you turn 1, they kill the screens. If they get the double, just boom, they're instantly into everything else. And with the damage, like you just lose the game. So we want to stay low drops right now for sure. But just in general, I don't love it. I wish the game was slower. I liked the go into round 4, round 5 kind of grindy kind of games. And some armies can still do that, like Slaves of Darkness and Stormcast and Maggotkin. Like armies that have real durable options can play that way. Just with Skaven, we're just so frail. We're most of the time just not going to make it to turn 5. But we'll see. We got the next GHB coming up in June or July. And that one's going to be a GHB that's focused on 4th edition. This last one we got, it was kind of a greatest hits collection of all the different missions out there. So they weren't necessarily designed for 4th. So maybe we'll get some like smaller deployment zones. Maybe they'll make some core rule changes to maybe lessen reinforcements. Something to just kind of lower the damage down a little bit. But we'll see what the future has in store for us. But that's it for today. We'll hit you up with round 3 next week. And as always, if you need models, check us out at warpfireminis.com. Thank you.